Confused with who to list your property with? Friend, colleague, professional? Figure it out right here on Real Estate Talk Boston. Joined right now by one of our Boston Power players, Adam Geragosian from Compass in Charlestown. Congratulations on the new move.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it happened quickly, but it's something that I think was the best for myself, my team, and moving forward.
Well, a lot of top agents in the area. It's interesting to see them grow. So fantastic platform.
Yeah, they be for me and the technology piece and where I think my business is going and the support that I feel like that I am going to need as time goes on. That was for me the best fit, and it seems to be working out really well from the get-go here. So
that's awesome. Well, congratulations.
Yeah,
I want you to help untangle a problem that a lot of questions come into the show on, and I'm going to throw it at you today is how do we list our home? We have a friend that is in real estate. We feel bad if we don't use them, but not sure if it's the right choice. How should a seller approach that?
It's a difficult position to be in. If you're a seller and everyone seems to know a real estate agent, and as the market's gotten stronger, more and more real estate has acquired more and more people that have obtained their licenses and have gotten to the point of some level of advisory. But the thing that I caution people with is if you're trying to sell your home, you have to look at it as if it's a major investment. You know, if you have $1 million home in Charlestown and you want to sell that property and ensure that you're getting the top dollar, you should probably interview a few people, whether that may be your friend, your colleague, your coworker, someone from a social group, or someone that you've just done some research on or heard good things about. I am always the belief that you should at least interview multiple people and see what each person has to offer, and then beyond that, what their company may be able to bring to the table.
So I love the fact that you are encouraging to interview more than one person to see what your options are, and it also gives you a baseline, right, of where your options are at.
Yeah, well, for me, I'd rather have somebody make the decision if they decide to list with me, knowing that they've explored other options. So instead of coming to me and they may or may not feel like they've gone down all the roads to see who is the best fit or who will work in their best interest, if they've gone through the process of interviewing people and seeing whether each person has a creative marketing plan, how much they plan to allocate for marketing purposes, what their specific strategy is, who their contacts are for things like staging, painting, property prep, and then they decide it's me after interviewing multiple people, I feel like that helps the relationship get off on a good foot.
You made a great point, and for those watching out there, it's not as simple as just the company brand. A lot of people think, oh, I'm just going to list with X company because they have a lot of signs out there. In today's world, it really matters who the agent is and the strategy that they're going to use to sell your home.
Yeah, well, I mean, what people sometimes don't realize, and even friends of mine, is that real estate agents are all independent contractors. So you're, in a way, your own business. And every agent has their own ideas and own thoughts and own strategies. So you're using the company who's a support platform. And they provide things like efficiencies and marketing development and more expansive exposure. But when it comes to the specific agent, not everyone operates in the same way. So you might find you're a better fit with me, you may find you're a better fit with someone else. But until you interview those people, you're not going to know. And each agent does do things differently. Some agents, and to your point about the market right now, the reality is anything will sell right now. Anybody can sell anything. The question becomes, are you actually getting top dollar?
Sure.
Where there's a big difference between someone that may sell on average 98% of list for sale price versus someone that sells for 104 or 105%.
And in today's market, especially in Charlestown, that can be thousands of dollars.
Tens of thousands.
Yeah.
And I see it all the time.
Margin. Yeah.
You know, I think there's a level of complacency with people that are looking to sell their place that they may be somewhat short-sighted on what is the best route for them to go down. And part of that comes back to the personal relationships, where if you may know someone that is also in the business, then you may feel obligated to work with them, but you really need to approach it as if you have $1 million and you want to go invest it in the stock market, then you're probably not just going to go to a social acquaintance or someone that is a friend of a friend. And if you do, before you do, you're probably going to interview a few other people.
Do your due diligence.
Yes.
Research it. Definitely makes a difference. Let's talk about Charlestown. Been a hot market for a long time. What are you seeing right now? Is inventory starting to to flood in?
Yeah, inventory's been a little bit better. It's picked up, I would say, the last month and a half, it's spring market. This winter was strange in that it never really ended. Just went from winter in through April, and then all of a sudden it was spring. And so now we're almost hitting the summer temperature. So it's happened quickly. And part of the situation in Charlestown from a listing perspective is that people are in a way getting priced out. So they may want to have that 3-bed, 2.5 bath with parking in Charlestown, but they can't afford it. So they're now opening up their prospective homes to places like Winchester, Reading, Lexington, Andover, other areas that they'll get a lot more for their money. And now because of that, in those suburban markets who are on a much more strict spring cycle, which is generally May forward, that inventory is loosening up. So they've found places to buy, which is now helping increase the inventory in Charlestown.
Well, I should take back the word flooding. I mean, I'm sure it's not flooding into the market, because that would be a good thing.
We don't like any talk of flooding on a waterfront.
Yeah. But it has loosened up a little bit, which is nice, because it's been so tight for so long. Still extremely competitive, right?
It's very competitive, yeah. But some of the properties we were seeing that were maybe last spring getting 5 to 7 offers are now getting 2 to 3. So it is still competitive. There's been somewhat of a condition where buyers are discouraged. So if they feel like something is priced too low, that they may just outright avoid it. And we've seen things that we thought were going to sell right away in Charlestown specifically that have sat for 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. And what ends up happening is if you miss that first rush, then it's really difficult to get people to circle back. It's a whole mental shift for buyers, and it's not easy.
With that being said, what would be your best piece of advice to the buyer out there that's experiencing that in the market right now?
I think you need to be open-minded, because we've been of the mindset the last 5 years that if you don't get it right away, you're not getting it because it's sold. But we're starting to see things that, again, aren't selling maybe right away. And if something sits for 2 or 3 weeks, buyers need to start adjusting to that and using that old school approach of, hey, if this is the asking price, let's just make an offer. Where I think buyers have become so accustomed to not offering below asking, and if they do, they feel like they're offending somebody. Whereas if you're a buyer and something hasn't sold, you shouldn't be afraid to take a shot. You're not hurting anybody's feelings.
It's 100% of the shots you don't take.
That's right, Gretzky.
Yeah. So if you're in the Charlestown market and would like to reach out to Adam directly, what's the best way to connect with you? You have a new website?
Yeah, well, my website's adamgre.com, or my email is adamg@compass.com. And cell phone text is always the best too.
Thanks for stopping by. Remember, we have more tips just like this right here on boston.com.